a first question always is, why should I consider exit planning for my practice, for me and my practice? It might be useful to tell you how I got started in exit planning. I started out as an estate planning attorney, and one day I was meeting with a couple business owners. They were brothers, and they came back in and they said, "John, you did our estate planning for us. Do you think you could help us leave our business?" And I was a young guy at the time, starting my law practice. It was probably 30 years ago. And I thought, yeah, I can help you guys. Of course, I'd never done that before, but I was young, I was hungry, and I said, yeah, I can help you leave your business. Let me ask you a question. When would you guys like to leave? And they said, Friday. And I was back against the wall for a second. I thought, well, what was that all about? And then I realized these guys were very smart. They had built a business that had about 150 employees, yet they had no idea of how to leave that business. So they kept working and working until they were totally burned out, and then suddenly they had to leave it. And that's actually what happened with them. They shut down their business. 150 people lost their jobs. They didn't get anything really out of the business compared to what they could have received had they developed a plan and executed a plan to leave their business. So when people ask, why exit planning? For me, the first reason is you can help people. And financial professionals and lawyers and CPAs, we're all in this helping profession, really. So that's, for me, that was really important. For financial reasons, however, especially financial planners and financial professionals, we have to look to the demographics. That really is the key to why exit planning is so important to our professional futures. And we've got a number of slides that we can look at right now that will really describe that possibility and that potential. So let's look at the first one that deals with what do owners want to do. As you can see in this slide, most business owners are over the age of 50, first of all, but this particular slide talks about the fact that about half of business owners who are over the age of 55 would like to leave their business within 3 years, and only a few have done any planning at all, maybe 10% of the population. These statistics, and there's lots of them that you'll encounter as you get more involved in exit planning, are pretty uniform. Most people want to leave their businesses. Most people have done very little, if anything, to actually accomplish that. So as a result, they're going to end up being like my Friday clients. Nothing is going to have happened to allow them to leave the business on their terms and their conditions. So how large is that demographic? And this, I think, is the key for you to consider when we start looking at developing an exit planning based practice. This next slide really talks about the sources of wealth in our country. So if you look at this graph, you will see that about 75% of high net worth individuals, not businesses now, but individuals, obtained their wealth through private business ownership. This was a study of almost 1,000 private jet owners. So these are very high net worth individuals. 75% gained their wealth through owning a business, either currently or they've sold the business and had a liquidity event. So that's part of the opportunity for us. The second slide, or the next slide, really takes a look at what do business owners do when they leave their business. This slide is a survey, really, of 700 exit plans that our members within BEI did in the last 12 months. And it shows the breakdown of the different exit paths. The reason this is important is I think advisors tend to think that all valuable businesses sell to an outside third party. And that just isn't the case, at least not with our members. In this graph, you can see that about 30% of businesses exit through a third-party sale. But 2/3 of businesses exit through what we call an inside sale, a sale to somebody who doesn't have any money, either kids, which is about 25% of the time, or key employees or a co-owner, which is about 40% of the time. So that will give you, as an advisor, an idea of the big variety of different exit paths, and we need to be aware of all of those if we're going to be helping our business owner clients. Then the next chart really shows the value of the business for whom at least our members do exit planning for. We tend to think of exit planning perhaps dealing with small mom-and-pop businesses. That's not the case. As you can see in this graph, only 15% of the exit plans that we do are for businesses that are worth less than $2 million. Almost half of the exit plans we do are for businesses having a value of $2 million to $10 million, and about 35% are for businesses worth more than $10 million, half of which are for businesses worth more than $20 million. So let me sum up all of these different graphs. Most owners want to leave. Most owners, almost all owners, have done very little, if any, exit planning. The source of wealth in this country is private business ownership, most of which are going to have a liquidity event in the next 15 years. As you can see from the exit plans that we do, these are high-value businesses. And my suggestion, why exit planning for you, is because you need to be there, because that's where all the action is going to be. And one final note, as an old estate planning attorney, exit planning, I believe, is going to be much more important for your future financial success than is estate planning. Estate planning has been a political football for the last 10 or 15 years, and now maybe it's not going to be a football being kicked around so much, but there's not going to be as much of a game to play anymore because of the higher limits. So that's why exit planning for you.